Today I'm reacting to your wrestling hot takes. I am still sick, but I'm getting better and better by the day, so hopefully by tomorrow's video, I don't sound and look like absolute garbage. And if you want to submit your hot take for next week's video, make sure that you're following me on X. I ask for your hot takes every Thursday on there. So go ahead, check out the link in the description below and start following me. And hey, as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell for notifications if you're a wrestling fan. I'm confident you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we upload daily wrestling content, whether we're out of the country or dying of whatever this disgusting illness is. Also, shout out to everybody that's been supporting on Patreon, really helping keep the lights on and the mics on. I really appreciate it. Go check it out. Patreon.com/SantiZap. There might be something you like on there. All right, let's read some stupid shit. With TNA coming back, if done right, and if they have good storylines, I can see them getting a bigger TV deal and a bigger audience than AEW. Look, I love that TNA is back, but they are in one serious uphill battle if you think that their end goal is to try and become as big as AEW. Part of the reason is that there's just no time in the week for more wrestling in North America. Like, think about it. We have Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night NXT, Wednesday night Dynamite, Friday night SmackDown, Friday night Rampage, Saturday night Collision. That leaves us with Sundays and Thursdays as the only nights of the week that are viable for something like TNA to find an audience in. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I don't think that North America and the world can support three major North American wrestling organizations and have them all be big and have them all be as big or bigger than AEW is today. Plus, inherently, this is like a dog-eat-dog world, and every free agent that's out there, like a CM Punk, like a Will Ospreay, inevitably WWE or AEW is going to outbid Impact. Like, that's just how it is. Like, Impact will, TNA will continue to be a third choice, but it's going to be a good alternative for hardcore wrestling fans. But I just don't see them getting TV deals or audiences as big as AEW. Why, oh why, is WWE making Jade Cargill out to be this future star when she was never good on the mic or in the ring in AEW? Did a miracle happen for her to suddenly be looked up by everyone as this god in the women's division? I do not get it. Well, what is the alternative here? Do you want the WWE to showcase her as a weakling that doesn't matter? The whole purpose of this and how they're treating Jade Cargill like a god, like you're saying, is that they can demonstrate to the rest of free agents around the world, this is how will treat you if you have star power and you come to the WWE. We will roll out the red carpet for you and we will catapult you to the moon. They are trying to win those major free agents come 2024. So I think it's a good thing that they're rolling out the red carpet for her and making her feel special. But yeah, like, what did you want them to do for her to feel like she's not special so that when she debuts, you and I don't care? Of course, like, this is a good thing that they're doing. They're making us care about Jade Cargill. Ultimately, it's going to be up to her to demonstrate that she's worth all of the hype, but it's a good thing that WWE is doing this. Michael Cole should be in the 2024 Hall of Fame. I mean, Michael Cole is for sure going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's going to go down as probably the most iconic WWE announcer of all time. 2024 might be a little bit premature, but absolutely he's going into the Hall of Fame. In my opinion, Becky Lynch is overrated. Her in-ring work is sloppy and her promos are decent at best. Her character work is definitely where she shines the most, but for her to be considered one of the top 3 female wrestlers in the WWE is setting the bar extremely low. I think the main problem is WWE. There are only a handful of women wrestlers who are over, and the ones who should be don't get reactions from the crowd or TV time like Chelsea, Candice, or Shayna. WWE is afraid to take a risk or showcase anyone else that is not named Charlotte or Becky. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here because this went from a Becky Lynch is overrated rant all the way down to WWE sucks at booking women, which I think both are inherently wrong. You know, you say that they only showcase Charlotte and Becky, but neither of them are holding championships right now. So I disagree in that regard, like just right then and there. If you look at the SmackDown, like the top of the card, it's got Bayley, it's got Io, it's got Bianca Belair in there as well. And yes, of course, Charlotte is in there as well. And then you look over at Raw. Raw is insane. You have Rhea Ripley, you have Zoe Stark now, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and of course, Becky Lynch is in there as well. And then you have these middling women that you mentioned there, like the Chelsea Greens and the Candices of the world that you say deserve more TV time, yet they get no crowd reaction. Like, why do they deserve more TV time if they get no crowd reaction? Like, the crowd are the ones that really dictate who should be getting those crowd reactions. Inherently, Becky and Charlotte get those big reactions, so you push them. Like, it just makes sense from a business perspective. But to say that they don't take risks on anyone that is named Charlotte or Becky, is absolutely inherently wrong. But yeah, like if you don't like Becky's promos, I get it, because she does always do that. And it is annoying, but I don't know, like I feel like there's a bit of a charm to the gasps, because she's just so intense with her promos that she needs to take giant breaths. So I guess that from that perspective, like it's purely subjective. If you don't like Becky Lynch, you don't like Becky Lynch. But the second half of this argument is just inherently wrong. Damien Sandow deserved a world title run. Yeah, I think he was kind of worst placed at the worst time, because he had the briefcase when John Cena had just beaten The Rock, and like he was not gonna drop that after beating The Rock at WrestleMania of all places. So yeah, it would have been nice to have Damien Sandow win a world title, but yeah, wrong place, wrong time. Gunther versus Dragunov 3 for any title should main event Berlin. My God, that match would be absolutely epic and fantastic if they did do it at Berlin. I don't care, man. They could just have a match for a Twix bar, and I'd be down to watch that, because Gunther versus Dragunov, every match that they've had have absolutely melted my face. It's like they're just so good together. Their chemistry is genuinely like 100% perfect. Wrestlers don't need a 6+ month reign for it to be good. In fact, I think shorter reigns that last up to 3 months are better than long reigns. There's exceptions like Gunther, for example, but overall, not every reign needs to last forever for it to be good. Yeah, we're in a weird space in terms of championship reigns as WWE fans. Like, I can't remember the last time that we've had two champions hold two major belts this long. Hell, Seth Rollins has held that World Heavyweight Championship for a very long time as well, longer than what the norm that we were used to prior to the pandemic. So yeah, this is a bit of uncharted territory as wrestling fans. I mean, like, there is a time and a place for long reigns. I'm with you. I think Gunther is a great example. But to have these many belts, have these many long reigns, it does make things go a little bit stale. So I do like to see belts change, you know, hands from time to time, but there needs to be this happy medium, and I think you labeled it there. I think 3 months is like this perfect amount of time where the belt can still feel special and it doesn't feel like this hot potato just getting tossed over from roster member to roster member. CM Punk should be John Cena's retirement opponent. The right option would be to give it to Randy Orton, but I feel like this could take CM Punk to peak heel levels that he was before he left WWE. I mean, you mentioned it right here, right? Like, it should be Randy Orton. So let's analyze the whole CM Punk thing. I'll be honest with you. I don't think CM Punk deserves to be the one that retires John Cena. Like, John Cena is a through and through full-blooded WWE guy, and I think that he should be retired by another full-blooded through and through WWE guy, not somebody that quit and jumped shift and went over to the competition. I think it should be Randy Orton, the guy who has had a parallel career to John Cena. It can't be anyone else, honestly. Anyone else would feel a little bit dirty. LA Knight shouldn't get a world title match just yet. While fans are behind him, such as myself, we are loving what we are seeing. He didn't find any mid-card success and was rocketed to the main event scene. He'd either be better off back in the mid-card or built up in the main event. Here's the thing though, the beauty of the LA Knight movement is the fact that he got to bypass the mid-card and shot up right to the main event. Like, that's part of the charm of all of this. So, I mean, to put a halt on that and then have him go to the mid-card and build his way to the main event, sure. I mean, I guess there is something to be discussed there, but you lose the charm. You lose the charm of the catapult that he has been, the skyrocket that he has been on. So I like what they're doing with him right now and just capitalizing on the insane momentum that he has, as opposed to trying to do this like slow, gradual build. I don't think that LA Knight is built for the slow, gradual build. I think you had to pull the trigger on him when the iron was hot, and I think they made the right call. Ricochet is a main event talent. They need to give him a chance to prove himself. The only detriment to his level of talent is his promo skills. If he was given a good, decent manager, he could beat Seth for the title. So I don't think that he's a main event talent. Like, in the ring, he absolutely is, but like you mentioned it, he has a lot to be desired when it comes to his promo and character work. And ultimately, to me, that's the most important thing in terms of differentiating you from somebody in the mid card to somebody in the main event. Everyone in the main event isn't just just good in the ring, but they're great at winning over the crowd. They're great at generating heat or great at generating sympathy. And I don't think that Ricochet is good at any of those things. And if he stays as the same character, you can't really give him a manager. If you want to give him a manager, I think you need to turn him heel, because baby faces with managers just don't traditionally make sense or work. So I have to disagree with all of this. I don't think that he's a main event talent right now. And you say that he needs to be given a chance. I think he's been given plenty of chances. I think he had one of the most marquee matches and feuds going into this year's SummerSlam against Logan Paul, and he disappointed in everything outside of the ring, which was everything that we already knew of him. We already knew that he was great in the ring. He needed to impress us outside of the ring, and he didn't. Baron Corbin's best run was his run in Black and Gold NXT. Wrong. It's his run right now in current day NXT, because Baron Corbin is the most unheralded, unappreciated man in all of WWE. He is doing the best work of his career right now, though his Black and Gold stuff was pretty good too, though. Can you explain why you like CM Punk so much? I personally never liked him, and I always thought that he was really sloppy in the ring. I think the reason why I like CM Punk and why so many people gravitated to CM Punk was that he represented counterculture within the WWE, and counterculture always draws an audience. Counterculture always becomes popular to the point where it sometimes becomes the actual culture itself that it was countering. But the fact that he represented everything that John Cena didn't made him so likable, because it was a time where John Cena was becoming the most stale, most boring, most overproduced wrestler and champion that the WWE had ever seen. So to see somebody like CM Punk, who absolutely bucked the trend on the status quo of what the WWE was and what John Cena represented, made him feel like a breath of fresh air, which is why he was so beloved by wrestling fans for a long time. In terms of being sloppy in the ring, I don't personally know what you're talking about. Like his time in WWE, he was one of the best in-ring workers. Maybe his time in AEW wasn't as clean as his WWE performances, but what I remember CM Punk, he always put on match of the night contenders. Gunther needs a new finisher to be a world champion. Disagree. I hard disagree. His whole gimmick is he's the ring general. He's got like 50 finishers. That's how scary he is, that he could put you in a sleeper hold and beat you that way. He could powerbomb you and beat you that way. Put you in an ankle lock and beat you that way. Put you, what else does he do? I think he beat somebody with a power slam. He's beating people with a splash. Like, he has so many different finishers, and that's what makes him unique as a wrestler. He is the ring general after all. WWE should use the Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis rivalry to split up the tag titles, probably at Survivor Series. Dude, why aren't these tag titles split yet or unified? Every other title has been unified and been given a new championship look. I don't know why they haven't done that with the tag titles. So it leads me to believe that the intention is to split them, if not to fully unify them and give them a new look. I think, yeah, they're planning on giving the SmackDown ones back to SmackDown and the Raw ones back to Raw. And I think you hit it around the head. I think that this is the perfect storyline to finally separate these stupid fucking titles. AEW fans ruin everything about Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. Look, you could say this about any wrestling fan. You could say WWE fans ruin everything about Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, because wrestling fans, especially the ones on the internet, can be super toxic. I mostly picked this one out because a few weeks ago, I tweeted out, you know what? This card for AEW Dynamite isn't doing it for me. I think I'm going to skip Dynamite tonight. And oh my God. And it was not supposed to be this, like, I like AEW. And it wasn't meant to be this, I don't like AEW narrative. I just didn't like the episode that they were about to put on, so I didn't want to watch it and spend time watching it. And the amount of hate that I got for that stupid, silly little tweet that was supposed to mean nothing was ridiculous. Wrestling fans in general can be super toxic, and you just kind of have to ignore them. And frankly, they're the loud minority. Like, they just don't represent wrestling fans as a whole. So don't let this ruin Dynamite and Rampage and Collision for you, because if you've just had a negative experience with AEW fans, look, I can tell you that you've probably also had negative experiences with WWE fans. So don't let negative fans on the internet ruin wrestling for you, is what I'm trying to say. Night 1 of WrestleMania doesn't count. It's basically the middle of the show. There's a reason Roman is always night 2. Dude, I agree. Like, this whole concept that, the Night 1 main event is a WrestleMania main event. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Stop lying to me. It's the night 2 main event is the main event. All right. Like, I agree with you. It's just the middle of the show. You're right. CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2013 is better than The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. You're wrong, but CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2013 is an awesome match that does not get talked about enough. It's a great match, but it's not Taker Shawn 25, okay? If CM Punk and Will Ospreay sign with Impact along with the name change back to TNA, I feel like they can have a genuine chance to rival AEW in both viewership and arena attendance. Look, if there is any interest from AEW or WWE to sign either of these two, TNA is not getting them. They just can't compete with the pockets of the WWE and the pockets of Tony Khan and AEW. So there's no world where Impact gets both of them. They might get CM Punk if WWE doesn't want him, but I know WWE and AEW both want Will Ospreay. They're not getting him. I would like to see a triple threat retirement match between John Cena, Edge, and Randy Orton, where all three men retire as three of the GOATs, especially since they all have a history together. Well, Randy Orton is significantly younger than all of them. Like, Randy Orton still has numerous years of wrestling left. So I think it would have been nice to have a triple threat match with these three, have Randy Orton win and retire John Cena and Edge, and have it feel like the end of an era match that we had between Triple H, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels as special guest referee, where all three embraced one another after the match, and it just felt truly special, and it really felt like, you know, end of an era. That's what I would have liked to see. Muhammad Hassan was incredible and should have been a world champion if not for the politics that forced his release. Dude, you're 100% right, and what's frustrating is that the WWE basically fired this guy because he was too good at his job. He was too good at the things that they booked for him. They were the ones that booked the terrorist angle, and Muhammad Hassan went with it because that's his job and he got released for it. Everything Muhammad Hassan was doing up to this point was perfect, and it was such a unique character, a character who had all of the moral high ground. He was right in everything that he said. He was, on paper, the good guy, but the WWE played into the Islamophobia that was part of the American culture in that time, and by de facto made him the heel. It was just so unique to see someone who was morally right be the bad guy. It's such a unique situation. And it's a shame that we never got to see everything play out, like you said, because of the politics around the network and everything that the WWE themselves booked for Muhammad Hassan, and he was forced to take the fall. That's so unfair. Ric Flair should have never come back because now he's gonna get one more match. Dude, if Ric Flair really does come back for one more match to be Sting's retirement match, I am going to vomit. I'm so sick and tired of this geriatric old man coming out of retirement every fucking full moon to have a terrible match. It should be Sting versus Darby Allin. That's the retirement match for Sting. WrestleMania 39, Sheamus versus Gunther versus Drew McIntyre sucks. Okay, so you just hate everything that's good with the world. WWE is certainly hot right now, but if I were to really point out a significant weak point, it'd be the tag division. See, you're right and you're wrong. The tag division is actually really good in the WWE. It just feels weak and unimportant because there's nothing for them to compete for because the tag titles are stuck being a prop of the main event. If there were actual tag titles, actual feuds for gold, the tag division would instantly flourish in the WWE because there's a lot of amazing tag teams ready to have matches that just aren't being utilized, again, because the gold isn't anywhere near them. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for submitting your hot takes this week. Again, don't forget, follow me on X. That's where you're going to be able to submit your hot takes. Link in the description below. I'm done. Get out of here.